Hi, lady. Jaki Sabourin here. Want to make sure you can hear me. Hello, ladies, and welcome to my live broadcast. Should you date a separated man? I'm Jaki Sabourin, a love coach. And for those of you who don't know me, I married my Match.com husband a little over 5 years ago. We've been together and happier than ever. And I want to share all of my wisdom with you to help you get engaged at any age. And so today I'm going to be talking about, should you date separated men? So this has come up in my community quite a bit, and it's definitely a great topic to discuss. And so first of all, let's start with understanding the rules of separation. First and foremost, you need to have a healthy respect for the fact that your prospective date, potential, partner is still married. Okay, that's a biggie. And separated isn't divorced. So he still has a legal commitment to his wife. And with that said, people get separated for all kinds of reasons. So it's important to understand, why that they got separated and what the separation is going to accomplish before you fall head over heels in love with this guy, because it's easy to fall for a guy that's newly separated because he's like candy in a kid in a candy store, because it's all new to him and he can come on really strong and convince you that you're the best thing since milk, and you are, of course, but he's not really totally available. So let's talk about this. So you want to find out what separating from his wife is accomplishing, and then what is the event that led up to the separation. That's an important piece too. I mean, these are the questions that I would ask should you decide to date a separated man. Now, I'm not recommending that you should or shouldn't, and I'm going to wait till the end to share my opinion on that, because I've dated a separated man, and I'm going to share with you that story. But so these are important things you want to take into consideration. I thought we'd cover them first. And so another thing you want to consider is, that both people play a role in some kind of separation and divorce. So whatever he's telling you, you can be sure there's another side to the story, and you want to try to find out what that is. Another thing is his wife aware that he's dating other women? That's really an interesting concept, right? You might assume that she knows because they're separated, but does she really know? Because maybe he's not telling the truth. Maybe he's saying he's separated, but he's really still married and living in the basement. And that's a story that I heard of earlier that I'm going to share with you. And also, why does he want to date prior to the finalization of his divorce? That's a good question. Why is he in such a hurry to go out with somebody when he's still married to somebody else? And a good way to know that is to wait to go out with him until his divorce is final. And so another thing that you're going to need to do if you decide to date a separated man is you're going to have to park your jealousy. It's going to be really hard to do that, because if you like the guy, it's going to be easy for you to be jealous, because as painful as it may be for you to hear this, is he may be having sex with his wife still. You really don't have any way of knowing that. And he has a legal and emotional connection to her as long as he's married to her. And so it's a complicated relationship, dating a separated man, because there's not just one person in it. There's three people in that relationship: you, him, and his wife. And so you need to know your risks, and you need to know the red flags to look out for, so that you have awareness. So if you do decide to date a separated man, you can protect yourself accordingly. And so I dated a separated man. I actually didn't know he was separated. I met him at a coffee shop, and I was out, to meet men. So I went and made myself available at a coffee shop, and I struck up a conversation with the man. He asked me to join him at his table, and we started chatting. He did not have a ring on. He appeared in all ways to me single and available. He asked me out to dinner, and of course I said yes. I was so excited that I got a date from being at a coffee shop. Hi, Denise. Hi. How are ya? And hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you here. And so, a couple of days later, we went on a date. And when we got on the date, we ordered dinner, and he said, I just wanted you to know that I'm separated. I'm not divorced yet, but I'm not living with my wife. And I just was like, okay. So I paused, and this is the reaction that you can have if this ever happens to you. I paused, I looked at him, and I thanked him for his honesty. I said, thank you so much for being honest with me and telling me that. He said, well, if I would have told you at the coffee shop, would you have gone out with me? And I said, no, I would not have. I said, but since we're here, let's have a nice dinner. You know, we're already here, we're together, let's have a nice dinner. So I proceeded to, I didn't let it wreck my evening. I don't let very many things wreck my evening. I'm pretty much a rock, and I won't give up my happiness for a moment for some guy that's still married to his wife. So what? I'm going to have a nice dinner. So I use the word so what in life a lot, because it helped me to stop making a judgment about what my mind's saying about this guy, stay in the now, and use it as an opportunity for growth. I think everything is an opportunity for growth. And that's why life is so exciting to me. So I'm like, okay, not what I expected. I'm out of my head, so I'm not into the expectation, so I could go with the flow with that. And I said, thank you for telling me. Yeah, I would not have gone out with you if I would have known. And so I asked him those questions that I went through earlier about how long he'd been separated and why he's separated and how that was going for him and when he thought he would be divorced. And so he said it's probably going to take a year. So at the end of our evening together, I said, call me in a year. You know, call me when you're legally divorced, because I'm not comfortable seeing you again. You know, but I did like him. He was a nice guy. And I can see why he wanted to go out with a woman, because he's separated. He's living in his own home. He's not living with his wife. They have been separated and living apart for 1 year. So it was really tempting, right? It sounds like, wow, this could work. He's been apart for a year. They're definitely getting a divorce, and he lives by himself, and it seems like this could work. But here's what I'm going to say about that. I do not recommend it. I do not recommend it, because here's the truth. A separated man is still married to another woman. He is never going to be available to you because he's not available. And that is a totally emotional unavailability in my book. It is. It's like, I'm just going to go and take care of my stuff over here, and I'm just going to string you along for as long as I can, because who knows, maybe he'll go back to his wife. It's likely that he will go back to his wife. It's more likely than not that they'll work it out, because here's what's going to happen. He's going to get really happy with you. You guys are going to start dating. He's telling you he's going to get a divorce. You know, a couple months goes by. He starts to get really happy. You're an amazing woman. You're a catch. You want a relationship. So you're giving it your all. And then he is like, this is an amazing woman. I'm so happy. So now he's showing up, you know, to pick up the kids with his ex-wife. He's being very nice to her now. So things between them become more amicable because he's calmed down, because he's having sex. He's with you. You're making him happy. You think, oh, you know, I'm building on something for the future. In the meantime, his wife's watching the whole thing, and she's like, wow, he's actually a great catch. Women always want, you know, not always. I shouldn't say that. When he gets really happy, it makes him very desirable to her. So all of a sudden, she starts to see him for who he is becoming, or maybe who he used to be, and he stopped being that way with her. And she starts to consider the being single again. She starts to consider, maybe I don't want a divorce after all. Maybe he's not so bad. He sure looks much better when he's with another woman. In other words, she's making him a better person, and so she's going to want him back. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Terry. Great to see you here. And so this happens a lot, ladies. And the reason why I'm recommending you don't date separated men is because you can find a man that's legally divorced, and it's easy to do, but it's lazy. Okay, it's really lazy. It's settling, totally settling, and it's saying, you know, there's no other men out there that are divorced, so I'll just settle with you. And he's getting the better end of the deal. He still has a woman in his life, and he's going to have to end up paying her money. You're over there waiting. You're in a holding pattern. You're essentially putting your life on hold, hoping and praying and wishing that he's going to divorce his wife. And then if you even think about that, there's a lot of negativity. It's all scarcity. Like, I want him to divorce her so he can be with me. And there's always going to be this push and pull. You're always going to be like that second wives club. And it's not a good energy. It doesn't feel good. And you're never going to feel 100% secure with him because you're never going to know, until he's legally divorced if he's really going to get divorced. And another thing that can happen, let's talk about the man that's newly separated. The newly separated man is an interesting paradigm. There are two things that can happen with the recently divorced man, not newly separated. I meant to say recently divorced. So he just got divorced. So this can go two ways. One, he's been processing wanting to get a divorce for years. He's so ready for that divorce. When it finally happens, he really is ready to meet a woman. And so newly divorced men can actually be great catches because they've learned a lot from their first marriage or first relationship, whatever it is, if they've broken up, and they're ready. They really have the skills and they're really ready to do what it takes because they don't want to be single for too long. A lot of men do not like being single. And so they want to find a woman right away and settle down. Or the other side of that coin could be that he is going to process his whole divorce and marriage with you. You're going to become his counselor, his therapist, his coach. And you're going to start doing that because you want to help him, because you care about him, because you like him, and he's available. And so you're going to find yourself talking about his relationship with his ex-wife and how much money she took and the kids. And you're going to start help processing all of this. And there's going to be 3 of you in that relationship. And I really, really don't recommend that for you because you deserve better than that. You deserve a man that has done some work around it and is ready to drop the stories, drop the storyline, will forgive his ex-wife for whatever she supposedly did so that he can be fully present with you. So you're really going to have to remain objective and detached while you're dating a man that's newly divorced in order to make those determinations on how far the road he's gone down. If he's processed while he was married and he's ready to get in a relationship, or if he's going to process with you. And frankly, I hate that. I do not want a man to process with me. I'm a grown up. I'm a grown woman. I want a man, not a boy who wants to break everything down because he's still angry at his wife for all the bad things she did. Remember, there's 2 sides to every coin. So, and the same token goes for you ladies. Take time after you get divorced to process, to heal, because you might think you're missing out. You might think, wow, I should get back out there in the dating thing right away. Everybody else is dating. But I recommend, if you can, to slow your roll. With the hurry. If you really believe that's going to happen, and I know it can happen for you, I absolutely know, then what's the hurry? The more time you take to heal and process, the less of a storyline you're going to have when you're dating about your ex-husband, the more present you're going to be, the more clear you are with what you want, and that's just going to translate to you getting what you want much faster. Because let's face it, if you're newly divorced and you have some emotional debris to clear out, you're going to be using the dating process to clear that emotional debris out, because every time you go on a date, something's going to come up, you're going to have to address it, which is actually fabulous too. So both ways are really functional as long as you are honest with yourself about that you're going to go through a process dating where you're going to have to process what's happened to you. It's going to come up because the dating process presses all the buttons. And you want to press them so you can heal them, so you know which ones that, oh, I love it. I love it when you girls smile and hit likes. That's so fun. All the little likes float across the screen, and I really enjoy that because it lets me know that what I'm saying is connecting. So the dating process is great because it helps you to grow up emotionally. And it's not for the faint of heart. You can skill up really quickly in dating, and I think it can be really fun. Or you can wait, do a little work on yourself, clear out some of the bigger chunks, and close that gap. So what I mean by close the gap is you're here, you want to be here, but in the middle is all these painful experiences. So you want to close the gap so that it doesn't take so long to meet your guy. And so going back to dating separated men, I really don't recommend it because they're not really available. That's the bottom line. I've done it, been there, and it's a disappointment. You're never going to feel secure. Now, I have a couple questions that the ladies sent in I want to share with you and problem solve for them. So I'm going to read them to you. I printed it out. So she said, I was involved in a relationship for 6 months to a man I thought was the one. It started very fast. He was instantly smitten with me, and I thought I had hit the jackpot. For the first 4.5 months, he showered me with texts, emails, cards, and gifts. He got busy with work, was traveling all the time, and his behavior started to change. Next thing I know, he sent me an email to a friend of mine on Match, which is how I found out. I could not figure out how a guy could go from telling me I was the love of his life to being back on Match. I do not think I will ever really know what happened except from your email below that perhaps he was emotionally unavailable. He was recently divorced when we started dating, and I was his first girlfriend post-divorce. It felt real to me. How do we know when it's real? Great question. So he was recently divorced, so that would be a flag on the field. So it doesn't mean it's a no. Just you've got to keep track of these things. So I would say, okay, so knowing that he just came out of his divorce, I would know that he's going through a bit of an emotional storm. And so she missed that. She was so excited about him, just pouring on the affection, the attention, that she missed the signals along the way. And guarantee you, during that time that she was receiving all those gifts and texts, she stopped watching the signs and his behavior and kind of went into la la land, unconscious, and then she missed the signals that he was drifting. And so I guess the lesson is to be more present, to watch the consistency and ask questions immediately. As soon as he got busy with work, I would have intervened and said, I want to have a responsible communication with you. There's things are shifting and I need to understand what's happening. So I would have right away, as soon as the consistency changes, you have to have the courage to ask the questions. And they're hard questions because you're afraid of rejection, right? That's why we don't ask questions. But look what happens. You get 6 months down the road and then you get dumped and find out that he's trying to date your friend. So it's better to go through the awkwardness of asking the tough questions up front with a feather from love, being kind, but putting yourself first and being like, I deserve to know the truth. And that's what emotional intimacy is. It's the truth. It's your ability to be honest with yourself. So somewhere along the way, I would say that he wasn't emotionally available and neither were you. And so that might be hard to hear, but the truth does set you free. So become more emotionally available to your feelings, how you're feeling as things are progressing, watching for the signs. And as soon as you sense that something is off, I want you to start asking the questions, the tough questions to him. Set appointments. Don't just, blurt it out the next time you see him. Just say, I've been feeling a certain way. I'd love to set an appointment with you so we can talk about it. Is Sunday a good time? Always set that appointment. There's a reason why I'm telling you that, because then he doesn't feel like he's going to be attacked. And he gives him an opportunity to think about what he's going to share with you and his answers, and gives you an opportunity to process how you're feeling. He's going to ask you, what is this about? And you need to be honest and say, it's about, I'm feeling that you're distant recently. And I just want to talk to you about it. What's going on? And he might try to talk to you about it in the moment and just say, I'd really rather talk about it on Sunday when you've had an opportunity to really think about it, and I'll think about it too. And I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you, because I just need to get some clarity. So let's just wait till Sunday. I would insist on that, because what's going to happen is he's going to be thinking about that all week. He's going to be thinking about the answers to your questions, and he's going to be prepared to tell you the truth. And if he's not, that's going to tell you a lot about your relationship, right? If he doesn't. Okay, so here's another one I'm going to share with you. And I'm seeing if you have any questions, please post them in the comment boxes. I can read them and I can answer them now. Dating a separated man that is living in the same house in the basement. Says that he loves me and wants to marry me, but now is not the right time to leave. So he's still married. He's separated. He's living in the basement. Okay, so right there, I could just stop reading it, because I know all of you watching all of you watching can probably know where this is going. It's not going to have a happy ending. So don't date a man who's still living with his wife in any capacity, because they were married. There's some intimacy there. Things can happen. You'll never really know the truth. You're setting yourself up for a whole lot of heartbreak. So I really don't recommend that. But she's going with it. She's been going on for 2 years. and his wife is taking care of him. He got sick. Did you see how this is just now? She's got drawn into the drama. His wife got sick. He got sick. His wife's taking care of him. And it's going on 3 years of excuses, 3 years of her precious life that she's wasted. And she would, I think, dating, she said, should I give up? And I'm like, you should move on. You should absolutely move on, because he's getting everything he wants and you're getting nothing. You're getting the short end of the stick. You have to put yourself first. And as hard as it is, you said that my heart is with the separated man. So I just think that your heart is with what's familiar, and you're used to this kind of abuse. This is abuse. You're being abused. You're being taken advantage of. You're allowing him. This is a boundary violation, and it's familiar to you, and that's why your heart's with him. It's not your heart, it's your pattern. Your pattern is to be attracted to this kind of energy where you don't get your needs met. His needs come first. Is this probably sourcing from your childhood? Something happened with your father or somebody, your mother even, that you never felt like your needs mattered, that they came first. You waited a lot for your needs to get met. And so this is a pattern. This is your pattern, and you're back in it. And that's why it feels so right, because it's familiar, because it's sourcing from the past, but it's presenting in the future. You have to clear up your past, and you can do that by letting this man go, recognizing time is not promised. Your life is precious. You have to put yourself first. Go through the pains of breaking up with him. Rip that bandage off. He's not there for you. Nobody's there for you. You're not even there for you. Okay? You're not even there for you. So this man doesn't deserve you. You deserve so much better. So I recommend that you, he's not leading you on. You said, I stopped letting this man lead me on. He's not leading you on. You're leading you on. Okay, there's rational lies going on, rationalizing. You're leading yourself on by believing all these lies that your mind's telling you that someday he's going to leave. He's not going to leave. He's never going to leave her. He's living in the basement. So convenient. Why would he leave? There's no benefit for that. He's getting all the benefits. So you got to get real, get more emotionally honest and intimate with yourself. Do the work so that you can move on and find a man that is available, because you deserve it. And this last one I'm going to share is struggling with a man who isn't as fit as he used to be, but he works a lot of hours. She met an incredible man online about 4 years ago, after the death of her husband of 30 years. Pictures of him, they're all in alignment. All other areas of her life she shares are in alignment, politically, spiritually, but she's struggling with the fact that he's not fit, active, and stylish or civic. He says he works 50 hours a week. Looking at pictures of his past, he was really good looking, even surfed. How important should this be? She's 59 years old, and she was used to dating men that were very accomplished, stylish, and good looking. And so I guess what I'll say is, how important is it? That's something that only you can answer, right? It's important to me. It's very important to me, because why it's important to me, it's because I have a lot more energy when I work out. I did a spin class this morning. That's why I'm still going like the Ever Ready Bunny. I've worked out my whole life. It's set the trajectory of my life to be, hopefully I can live vitally as long as I'm alive. I'll be vital. So that's important to me. It was important that I attracted a man that had the same value around being physically active, so that we could live a vital life. Not necessarily about my figure, more about, well, it was when I was younger, to be honest, but now I'm not. I'm older. And now it's really important that I can get out of bed every day, right? So you have to look at your value system. It's really important to you, because you're that. Now, are you a fit for him? Are you active? Do you have an active lifestyle? You're 59. Do you do all the things that you wish he would do, or you just wish he would do them? So why don't you get honest with yourself and just answer your own question. Am I slowing down? Am I okay with a little bit of weight on? And if your answer is yes, and he's checking off the other boxes, then I would say, we're all getting older. Stuff starts to happen. Things start to droop. Gravity starts to take hold. And so you have to just weigh out, the important things, what's really important to you, and getting clear. And then being being courageous enough to take a risk to find somebody else if that's a deal breaker for you. I like to focus on the top 3 things that are the most important, because we need less than we think we do. Our mind wants all this stuff from a man. We want him to do all of these things for us. And in reality, a lot of those things that we can do for ourselves, which is meeting our own emotional dependency needs. And so when you start meeting your own emotional needs, unconditionally loving and nurturing yourself, protecting your boundaries, learning how to communicate responsibly, you can meet all those needs from within. And then what a man brings to the table is the icing on the cake. And then for that icing on the cake, what I wanted was somebody who is fit so that we can go do fun, athletic things outdoors. I've always been an outdoors person, so that's important to me. May not be important to you. So you have to ask yourself, what do I want? And why do I want that? Those are the questions that you can ask that will give you the answers you need. What do I want? And why do I want it? Why do I want a man that's fit? What purpose is that going to serve? I mean, not that he needs to be a fat slob, but if he's a little overweight, I mean, is that really a problem? Or is it just your ego trying to sabotage you because all of the other boxes are checked and your ego thinks you should still be with some hot young guy, but you're almost 60, so you got to get on the same page. Sometimes this happens to me a lot. It might happen to you. I feel like, I'm good, go, and all of a sudden I go to stand up and my legs are stuck because I'm sitting down all day and I have to get up really slowly and totally take my time and stretch out my joints and my ligaments because they shrink, they atrophy from sitting down. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 54 and I'm feeling it. And I think my mind's going, I think I'm in my 30s, but my body is older. So you have to keep up with you. You have to be, I hate to use the word realistic, but realistically, I'm going to be 54 in my body. I have to modify. I have to modify my workout. I have to get more sleep. I have to try to take a nap. I have to watch what I eat. I have to watch how much caffeine I drink because it all affects my sleep. And if I don't sleep, then I can't show up like I'm showing up with you. So I have to take responsibility for my life. I have to be a leader of me and do things that serve me. And so you have to start looking at that as we age. Those are important things. We have to have more discipline and modify so that we can have the life that we want, but we have to modify that a bit. And that's okay. It's okay. The benefit of getting older is that we're wiser and we appreciate more. We're more compassionate. We're more understanding of others. We're more tolerant. And we love more. Our capacity to love more grows. And so there's so many benefits to getting older. It almost makes it worthwhile. Almost. Anyway, so hi, Richard. Thanks for coming in. I'm just getting ready to end the broadcast, but he's asking how about dating separated women? I think it's the exact same thing, and I'll tell you why. I went back with my ex-husband 5 times. 5. Count them. I just kept going back. We'd break up, get back together. Break up, get back together. And so we were on a roller coaster, and a lot of people got caught up in that roller coaster with us, and it hurt some people. And it was confusing to our children. So I'm speaking from experience. Don't do it, because the draw to go back to what was the known, the safety zone, even though it was dysfunctional and that ship had sailed, I still was in a pattern with him, and we hadn't worked it out yet. So I'm speaking from experience. It was, if I could do a do-over, would I change that? No, because I learned so much, and I learned so much that I'm able to actually share authentically with you that I don't recommend it because of my own experience of dating separated men and then being a separated woman and still going back to my ex-husband. So I hope that helped. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. As always, please send me your dilemmas so that I can solve your problems, because that's all I'm doing here. I'm helping you solve problems. You have to get good at solving problems. Life is a series of self-help obstacles, and you just have to get good at overcoming them. And I'm really good at that. And that's what I'm going to teach you on every one of these broadcasts, how to jump those hurdles faster and faster and faster and keep moving forward, and bringing it in, process it, flowing, so you're always in the flow of life, and you're never getting stuck in all this emotional constipation. Clearing out the debris, then you can create anything. Life starts happening so fast, you can create miracles. You're manifesting whatever you want, whenever you want. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you all for being here. Last thing I'm going to share is that I did create an amazing audio series collection just for you, because I know this time of year is really hard. The dating process can be very confusing. And so I put a lot of the trainings that I've done on audios so that you can listen to them while your hands are busy. And these audios are like first date scripted conversations, how to get on a second date. I've given you several profiles. I talk about an interview with my husband where he talks about, you know, what to do and what not to do. I mean, these are 7 audios that are very critical that I really wanted you to share with you so that you can become a master dater. You need to become skilled. Basically, you need to become highly socially skilled. That's what dating is. It's social skills. So if you get the audio collection, you can listen to this over and over and over again until it becomes a part of your repertoire, so it can be authentic. So when you're talking, you can be like me. You can be coming from your own words, using what you've learned from me, and make it your own and become more authentic in your dates and make it easier for you. It really is a fast track, because you can get all this knowledge, but unless you apply the knowledge, it's useless. So make sure that I'll post the link into my comment box there. You can check it out. And I hope you take advantage of that offer. Okay, ladies, have a beautiful evening. Thanks for being here. I love you. Bye-bye.